Welcome back to Conspiracy Corner Podcast, everyone. This is Abe, your host. Today is July 29th, 2024. We did an episode earlier, the last episode. Not sure what you're listening on, but the order might be a little bit out of whack, but that's okay. Last episode we did was a part of a series which I started a playlist for if you tune in on YouTube. Basically, I started a series called Conspiracy Cinema. I was originally influenced by PsyOp Cinema, which is one of my favorite podcasts, and they cover conspiracy related movies and review them and talk about them and analyze them. So, last episode that we did was a movie called Tarot, and as an occultist and someone who used to do tarot, and I still do, I use and collect occult items, and I have a huge collection of tarot cards, which we might get into later today, just depending on the time and stuff. Yeah, I found the movie interesting. So I reviewed that movie. So go check that out. Go check out the other movie reviews that I've done on conspiracy related stuff. We covered, let's see, Eyes Wide Shut. We covered, I'm trying to think of the other ones. Cuties was one of them. Just a bunch of conspiracy movies. Go check it out. Basically, I just got done taking a bath. It's my day off. This is my chill outfit. But I felt like working, Got a nice shave, nice and smooth. I look younger. Um, as far as that, that's about it for an update. Just ate some dinner, did some chores. Oh, we covered tarot. I wanted to get back into that just a little bit. So, Tarot, the movie, is based off of a young adult novel called Horoscope. Horror, and then scope. Like, instead of horoscope, as far as like tarot, occult, blah, 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 it's a play on words. Apparently it's an English book. It's super hard to find. I actually want to get one now and buy one. Maybe we can cover it on this channel. As someone said, I couldn't find barely any information on this book, so it's super rare. But if I can get a hold of it, they said it's pretty short. So, like, I could do like a read along with commentary as a podcast idea. Someone said they read it in like one day. So, I could do that, kind of like what I'm doing with Leave the World Behind, how I'm doing like a read through on it with commentary and deep dives and stuff. If you all are interested, just an idea. But yeah. So go check out some of my other stuff. I think this is the third or second episode that I put out today, so I've been grinding. But let's get into it. And normally I would do this as just an audio only, but I don't feel like editing it because I'm not super tech savvy and I haven't got that stuff down completely yet. I'm still learning. But we got into that. This is why I'm telling you this is kind of like an attachment to the tarot movie review. Because we got into the concept of the horoscope spread. And this is actually something that I already wrote in a notepad and I've been wanting to do anyways, which was teach tarot classes. So consider this a free tarot class. I would like to honestly do it legitly and do it from the basics, beginner level, and progressively get harder and harder and teach you more and more and more as an actual course. So just stay tuned. It's an idea I have. I've been wanting to do it. I just need to get down to doing it. But we got into the concept of the horoscope spread, which is a 12 card spread. This is what it looks like. So screenshot that if you want. Google image that if you're listening on audio only. Pause it if you want. And we will get into a deeper dive on it. By the way, this book is the Everything Tarot book, written by M.L. Abadi. If you're listening on audio only, MJ Abadi, Abadie, Abadie, MJ Abadi. It's probably the best book you can get on learning tarot for the first time. And I have multiple books on tarot. I've been doing it for years. This is the best one. I'm telling you. It's pretty much like tarot for dummies. So let's get into the horoscope spread. Here's a little intro. In the horoscope spread, the 12 cards are laid out in a circle that corresponds to the 12 houses of the astrological chart. A 13th card, a significator, can be placed in the center if desired, either chosen or the next card that comes up. Now, the significator represents the person you are reading, whether it's yourself or someone else. That's them. House 1 begins at the left horizontal point, so see the diagram once again if you need to. And the cards are dealt around counterclockwise until the 12th card sits above the first card. Each house refers to the specific area of life, thus the cards are read individually in reference to each house, which, by the way, if you are tuning in on Spotify, we now have video on Spotify, so you should be able to see all this. So it's a podcast, but you're going to want to see it too. This spread is not generally good for answering specific questions, but is best used for an overview of where the person is in life at the time of the reading. It does not matter what the querent's sun sign is, nor where the other planets are located in the natal chart. The houses are generic in the meaning and apply across the board. Now, I'm not super huge into astrology. I've talked about astrology on this channel before, but it is necessary if you are going to be an occultist and delve into the occult. It is important. Even Alistair said that. So the first house is the self. Natural affinity, Aries. The first house is the quintessential I, quote unquote. It is one's personality or self-projection, the physical body and appearance, the house of ego, which in this sense means that core within each of us that makes life's choices and ego development. The first house refers to consciousness and of self. Basic physical vitality is also the domain of this house. Ego is something that I struggle with because as an occultist, I believe we should have some form of destruction of ego, but not complete destruction. This is where you would get into, honestly, my opinions on Taoism and cuckoldry and all that jazz of like, destroy your ego just enough. Learn to self-deprecate with jokes and humor and things like that. But you also still want to keep your self-esteem. And that's why in mystery schools and secret societies and other occult practices, you'll see self-deprecating humiliation rituals, which people don't understand. What's the point of a humiliation ritual? It's to destroy your ego. So, the second house, personal resources. Natural affinity is Taurus. Second house has to do with what is considered valuable. This includes money, personal possessions, and attitudes towards them. But it also suggests valuing as a means of identity. I am what I value can be extended to I am what I own. The process of identification with material possessions makes them a part of oneself. The third house, the environment. The natural ruler is Gemini. The third house covers three areas of life that at first may not seem related, but taken together represent normal daily life, what astrologers like to call near environment, quote unquote. The first has to do with communications related to the routine of everyday life, so the mundane. The myriad of daily telephone calls, conversations, letters, faxes, emails, bills, paperwork, small talk, involvement with friends, neighbors, and the community at a large. As we go about our accustomed round, it is mind operating on its customary level when performing routine tasks. This house also relates to short distance travel, such as commuting, business trips, weekends away, and whatever moving about we do that does not take us into unfamiliar territory, but it is part of our usual routine. Siblings and relatives, except parents, parentheses, except parents, are also the province of this house, insofar as we are concerned with routine interactions with them. So we get into now the fourth house, which is roots. Natural affinity is Cancer. The fourth house is the basic foundation of one's life, home, family, parenting, especially the mother. This is where we get into parents now. That's why the last house, the third house, was everything except parents. This is specifically getting into parents, especially the mother. Tradition, the past, one's homeland, which would be your motherland, perhaps. That could get into like past lives and stuff like that, you feel, which I believe past lives are usually pretty related into your homeland, your motherland, and stuff like that. That's just my opinion. It's a theory I'm working on. Maybe we'll delve deeper into that one day. In short, roots, the cusp, beginning point of the fourth house is at the bottom of the chart. What might be called the earth point. By the way, there is a difference. I had a commenter talking to me about earth means soil, not dirt. Dirt is when we get into Gaia worship and the concept of Gaia worship and stuff. Dirt is used soil. It's useless. Soil still has energy and life and the presence of Gaia within it. It follows that the fourth house has a deeper meaning than one's immediate family. This is the sense of support we derive from Earth itself, which is the basis of our life here. It is the house of the great mother goddess, so Gaia. By the way, we're going to do a whole episode on Gaia because people assume that Gaia worship is evil, but what it is the elites take things that are beautiful and meaningful and amazing and they invert them and turn them into something disgusting. So we're going to do a whole deep dive on Gaia one day. As well as that of the personal mother. Cancerian images and symbolism imbue this house, nurturing emotional support belonging the material forebears, the ancestral land. There we go, what I was just saying. The moon, symbolic of the unconscious, rules Cancer. Now my wife is Cancer and she's a moon worshiper. Yeah, makes total sense. I don't know if she knows that, but this might be a good episode for her to listen to. And so the fourth house also refers to humanity's collective unconscious and the symbols that link together the human family. So this kind of gets into like Carl Jung and stuff. So I don't know if you guys are big fans of Carl Jung. You should probably check him out because he gets definitely into the collective unconscious and archetypes and genetic memory, stuff like that. The fifth house is self-expression. Affinity is Leo, the natural affinity. Fifth house is where we play and amuse ourselves, are creative and self-expressive, encounter romance and have children. The fifth house is where we do what we want, not what we must. As all people know, all work, no play makes Jack a dull boy. Shining reference. But the relevance of play to our growth has been overlooked. Amusements not only foster relaxation, taking us away from our ordinary, chore-filled life, they release the mind and spirit to engage in creativity and self-expression. And this is why I think, on a non-woo-woo, non-occult level, this is why I think that inner child therapy and keeping in touch with your inner child as far as actual mental therapy, science, and medical is important to keep in touch with, psychology, that type of realm. The sixth house is health and service. Natural affinity is Virgo. Sixth house involves one health and health promoting routines. Nutrition in the form of eating preferences and habits, daily work or chores. Service to others, which is good if you're a member of Alcoholics Anonymous like me, AA, a friend of Bill. Service to others is on one of those sides of the pyramid. Service. Don't forget that. If you know, you know. If not, look into it. It's nothing bad. Service to others and the capacity for self-sacrifice, which would be being Christ-like if you were raised Christian, self-sacrifice. This house is often emphasized in the charts of nurses, social workers, and the service professions and trades generally. Propensity to illness can be found here as well as concern for health. It represents what is necessary as opposed to what one chooses to do for its own or one's sake our day-to-day duties and responsibilities. It is relationships based on duty rather than choice or pleasure. Seventh house, one-to-one relationships. The natural affinity is Libra, which is the scale. Traditionally, the house of marriage and partnerships, the seventh house, has to do with all of our one-to-one relationships with any type of partner, including those with enemies. In the seventh house, one engages in chosen relationships, such as marriage, as opposed to those which are given, such as family. There is here a sense of mutuality, which can be extended to include those with whom we compete. The eighth house represents the past. Natural affinity is Scorpio. Kiss of death. The eighth house is the house of the past. Transformative change, death, inheritance. Told you. Judas, man. Judas. He was the one who represented Scorpio and Jesus and the 12 apostles, if you get into astrotheology and such. Inheritance and other people's money in this case. Death may mean actual physical death, but also it can mean a death of the old so that the new can be given life in rebirth. Which gets into the death card. That's not a bad card to pull, Everyone automatically assumes, oh my gosh, death, scary, scary. The ninth house is learning. Natural affinity is Sagittarius, which is me. So, the ninth house represents the higher mind, philosophy, religion, the law and legal matters, all of the institutions that underpin the social order. In the long distance travel, especially to foreign lands, this house, in contradistinction to the third house, is concerned with what is highly conscious in our thinking. It is the level of mind necessary for serious study and learning, for striving to relate the parts to the whole, and seeking meaning in life's experiences. The 10th house is life task. The natural affinity is Capricorn. The 10th house represents social or professional status, career, life, work, and parents, the father especially. So we had one with the father and we had one with the mother, which was, let's look back. Which one? Especially the mother. The 4th house. The 4th house, roots, natural affinity, Cancer, focuses on the mother. The 10th house, life task, natural affinity, Capricorn, focuses on the father. So, just something to remember. The 10th house represents social or professional status, career, life, work, and parents, the father especially. This is a house of being out in the world, acting, doing. It might be likened to the process of initiation that turns a child into an adult. Whereas the 4th house is the intimate home. The 10th house is the life task that one must perform in the larger world. The parental energy here is the father energy, or the figure of the masculine authority. So if you're a feminist, sorry, I don't care. There is sacred feminine and sacred masculine. You need to get over that. Otherwise, you're not going to be a very good occultist. It is also the experience of being fathered and of difficulties with the father or authority figures in the 10th house. We must take on a social role and achieve, becoming in our turn, authority figures for others. Honor and reputation are 10th house matters. By the way, this is coming from someone who had a horrible father. You have to probably get into the teachings of Christ, perhaps. That helped me within my life a lot, the teachings of Jesus Christ. And learn to forgive and love your enemies, and learn to forgive and love your father. I've learned to do that, and I've found a great amount of peace within my life doing that. Just a little tip for you. So, here's a little bonus. Little section here. They like to give little bonus sections to, I don't know, just little tidbit, little hints and stuff. The mysterious correspondence between the seemingly random distribution of tarot cards in a spread and the events and/or trends in a human life has been mocked by modern science, which can't explain such phenomena. However, the principle of synchronicity suggests that meaningful coincidences create the impression that there is a sort of foreknowledge of a coming series of events available to the person who works with divinatory tools such as tarot and astrology, the I Ching, or runes, which I actually have runes and I Ching. Somehow encompassing a cross-section of the space-time continuum that is the integral part of the entire fabric of life. The tarot spread is a picture of the moment. Deep stuff, deep. The 11th house, which would be friendships. And by the way, I have a surprise for you all at the end of this. Natural affinity is the Aquarius. The 11th house refers to one's friends, groups with which each one is affiliated, goals and hopes and wishes. This house is the area of life in which one must get along with large numbers of other people, though becoming involved in group efforts, which in turn support the individual. The 12th house and final house, the hidden, natural affinity is Pisces. Ugh, I dated a Pisces once. Ugh. Sorry, I'm just kidding. If you're a Pisces, I'm sorry. The 12th house has been given a bad rap by traditional astrologers. Oops, sorry. Who saw nothing here but mental illness. Yeah, sorry, I agree. Incarceration, self-undoing, and the like. However, astrologer Bob Hand makes a very good case playing devil's advocate for the 12th house being a place where things are just coming into being, nascent, vulnerable, still forming. This is based on the fact that planets in the 12th house are rising, dawning, as it were. So, let us look at this house as that which is hidden or not yet revealed, occult, including our dreams and fantasies. It is true that fears, usually of the unknown, reside here, but so does spirituality. In the 12th house, we are deeply connected on an intuitive level with the powers of the universe themselves unseen. So, that is the horoscope spread. Now, there is an example, but we're probably not going to get into it today. I wanted to introduce my new co-host. I told you guys that I had a new co-host, and you guys got to meet him, MR.CHILL, which was my co-host whenever I'm in my conspiracy mobile, White Rabbit. This is my new co-host when Sammy's not here, because she co-hosted last episode, so go check that episode out. This is Mr. Bill. Now I need to rename him. My cat, as soon as I did that, was like, what the heck? I need to rename him something so I don't get sued. Mr. Bill. Maybe Mr. Chill. We got Lammy Chillmeister. We could do Mr. Chill. And maybe he doesn't die horrible deaths like the 90s claymation cartoon, you know. Mr. Chill. How about that? Vote on it in the comments section. I think Mr. Chill would be good. But this is my co-host when I'm here at the house alone. So, say goodbye, Mr. Bill. Mr. Chill. Now, I think we're going to wrap it up there. I hope you all enjoyed. That is it for the horoscope spread. And here's a little sneak peek for cover art for my next Leave the World Behind. Obviously, it's not colored, but I'll give you all a little behind the scenes since we got a little bit of extra time. Give me just a second. These are some of my other cover arts. Here's two more sneak peeks of cover arts, which are for Leave the World Behind, which are full colored, which will be title art for upcoming podcast episodes. This one's pretty good. Actually, I'm pretty proud of that one. That's another Leave the World Behind cover art, which I plan on getting into. Check that series out. And these are bumper stickers, which I have to make up. I got 2 of them. So let me know in the comments if you're interested in getting a bumper sticker. I'll send you one. It won't cost me nothing. You can have it for free. It's publicity for me, free publicity. And enjoyment for you. So I'll make you one if you want. Just hit me up in the comments. But that's all she wrote. Oh, by the way, since this is kind of a tag along with the tarot movie that we reviewed, which, by the way, once again, go check that out. It's the last episode. That movie actually did pretty decent. It only cost $8 million to make, and they made $10 million in the first night. So that was another little side note, which I was going to cover, but I think that's all she wrote. Y'all have a good day. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch y'all on the flip side.